Right folks, I'm just going to do a little demonstration video here in your van just to show you how everything operates. The first thing we're going to show you is your control panel. It's just this black glass panel here. And we hit our finger on this button here, you can see it all lights up. And what we have here are things you can switch on and off, and over on this side here are just indicators. So this side here you can switch on your pump. See the wee green light coming on? That's your awning light outside. That's your lights inside. And that wee auxiliary switch doesn't do anything. And over this side here we have, that's showing us that our mains from outside is plugged in. So when the van's ever plugged in, you'll have that wee symbol up here. The next one here is your fresh water. You can see it's 75%. Our wastewater, which is 25%. Our engine battery is 12.3 volts. And that's our leisure battery is 12.4 volts. And then over here it just shows you temperatures inside and outside. So that's just your control panel. So the next thing I'm going to show you here is your fridge. Now to switch the fridge on or off here, you just hold your finger on that button, and that's the fridge actually off. To switch it on, we'll just hold our finger here and switch on the fridge. And you can see the whole thing lights up, and then it goes back to the last setting you had to set on. So the last setting was set on was electric. So you'll have electric. If you put it on to gas, it'll just light up. Now on the gas, if you switch on the gas just after maybe changing your gas bottle, it might take a couple of goes to actually light up. If it comes up an alarm, you have to reset the gas on this button here. So that's the gas reset button here. So if it doesn't light first time, come over and reset it here, and it'll light up the second time. And the last one here is your engine battery. Now we've chosen that there now with the engine stopped, and this alarm in there showing us that we can't have that. Now the last setting then is automatic. So when you're in automatic, it'll choose whatever's available. So at the moment it's plugged in, it'll go to plug-in. If you plug out the van, it'll go on to gas, and if you start the engine, it'll go on to here. So in automatic, that's your setting. And then we have our temperature setting. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. And then you have a wee heater here that heats up this wee bar here to stop condensation on the fridge itself. So that's just a wee heater for that. So that's what all your controls for your fridge are. Now on the door catch itself, you have a wee, see the wee vent? You can push that wee catch over. That means when you close the door, it leaves a gap in the door underneath here to let air in. And there's one on the bottom of the fridge as well, if you can see here. So if we press that out, when you close your door, it'll leave a wee gap, so your door's actually not fully closed, and that'll air out the fridge when you're not using the fridge. So that's what them wee catches are for there, and just push that back in. That's the normal lock. So that's your fridge and your freezer. So the next thing we're looking at here is your Aldi heating system. Now when we press this button here, that switches the system on and off. So if we press that one there, that's your Aldi heating on. And we press this one here, we'll get up our control screen. Now the control screen at the moment, when everything's blue, it's all off. So if you want to switch something on, the first thing you do, you can either pick gas, which is that one. You can see it going green, or you can pick electric. And you have 1, 2 or 3 kilowatts. So that's your choice. You can have electric or gas, or you can have both. So whatever you want to do, you can heat it on gas, which is that one, or you can heat it on electric, and that just goes minus and then goes off. This one here is your water. Switch that on if you want hot water. And this one here is your temperature you want inside the van. So if you wanted to run the heater on hot water only, you could just switch it on here. If you want hot water, or if you want to heat the van, you just bring your temperature up and down here, whatever you want to set it at. So if you set that at 26 degrees and press that, that's the heating on gas. If we switch that off and use that one, that's your heating on electric. And you'll have to switch that down actually lower than the temperature inside the van if you want to switch off the heating. So what you do is just bring that right down, say to 10 degrees or so, and that makes sure your heating doesn't come on, but you'll be able to bring on your water heater. That's your water heater on. So if you switch on anything here, if you have the temperature high enough here, the heating will come on. If you have it too low, it'll stay off, and at the moment there it's just heating the water, and that's how you switch the heating completely off. Just switch everything until it goes blue, and that's the whole thing off. So that's all there is to your Aldi system. When you're finished setting it, you can just hit that button there and leave the green light on, and that's the heating actually on there now. So the next thing we're looking at here is just underneath this seat at the back here on the left hand side, and that's your heat, that's your boiler and heater in there. And what we're looking at is this, if you can see that blue valve at the bottom there. At the moment now that's closed. You see the way it's going that way? To open that, just turn it that way. And that's draining all the water out of the heater and out of your taps and stuff out onto the ground. Now to correct that, you're going to have to, there's a wee button down the front here. So to correct that, you bring that around the way I done there now, straight at the front, and go down the front here and press in the button until you hear the water stopping. So if we can see that again, let's see, we'll get a wee. So I'll just show you that again. To open it that way, turn that around and press in the blue button down the front here. It's a bit hard to see, it's a bit dark in there, press in that button. So you always have to press the button in to close the valve. So you close it here and press in the button. To open it, you just turn it that way. Now in the frost, that'll turn itself at 2 degrees, that'll open itself up and it'll drain all the water out of the heater. Now if you want to winterize the van yourself, you're going to have to do that manually yourself. Open that up and open all your taps up here now in between hot and cold. So what I mean by that is, that's your hot and that's your cold. So in between both of them, I switch off your pump and all the water will drain out through your taps back through that valve, and that'll drain the van for you. So make sure you do that in all your taps in your kitchen and your bathrooms. So when you come back into the van, you'll correct that valve by turning it straight, which is the way it is now at the moment, and pressing on the blue button at the front of it, and open your taps on the hot setting, and that'll fill up the heater. And then once you get a free flow in your taps, that's your van back in action again. So anytime you ever have pressure issues on your taps, always check that valve, especially later on in the year when it gets a bit colder. Always check that valve the way it is at the moment, which is straight, and that's the way it should be. So the only other thing I'd say about this compartment is just to try to avoid storing stuff in here, because you can see there's a lot of pipes and wires and stuff in there, and the heater itself needs a bit of air to breathe. So if you can avoid storing stuff in there. So over here on the far side, what you have your jack and wheel brace, and your blow up kit and your 2 leisure batteries. And you see we're using your awning pole to hold up the bed there. That's your awning pole and your carpet set. So now we're just in your bathroom here. We'll just show you the toilet. You flush the toilet by pressing the blue button, and you'll get a red light coming up here on one of these sides here. It'll show you that your cassette's full when it's full up and needs changed. And there's not much else to your bathroom. You have your hot and cold tap here. As I was saying, in the winter time, open between the hot and the cold setting when you're winterizing the van to let the air out of it. Now in the really cold weather, if it's really like -5 and you're winterizing the van, open your taps between hot and cold and see if you can manage to blow into the tap, just to blow all the water out of the actual tap itself, because the tap's just made of plastic. And do this and do the same in your shower as well if you can. So the next thing I'm just going to show you is your satellite system. It's straightforward enough. You just switch that on there, and you can see it just says activate, and that'll actually go up and just find the satellite. So the only thing you have to do is really switch that on. That'll activate and go around, and it'll show you that it's found the satellite. It's always set on the one satellite, which is Astra 28. So let's see, that's it starting to go. It's opening. Now that's all I done was just press that button. I didn't press any of these other ones. So you see there it's opening, and that'll go up and find the satellite itself. So that's all there is to your satellite. Just switch it on and off there, and you see it's going up, and it'll go to the last position, which is Astra 2, and that's where you want it to go. And to bring it back down again, if we just press that button again, it says retracting, and that's the satellite will go around and come back down again. So that's all there is to your satellite. So the next thing we're looking at here is just your TV. Now the only thing is, there's a couple of wee things on the TV. There's a wee button in here at the side here that switches the power actually on and off, in case you don't know that it's actually there. But that's how you switch the TV on and off. That'll bring on the wee light underneath the TV. See the wee blue light? Now at the moment we're just if we press this source button, like if it's just our input, and at the moment we're in digital TV, which is the aerial, and then if we bring that down and go onto satellite TV, that's us onto satellite. So you can see now that's a station on your satellite, and we just switched the satellite on. Now if we go back to source again, and I'll bring you back up to the digital TV and press OK, that's us back into the aerial again. Now every time you move the van, you're going to have to retune the digital TV. So put it onto this digital TV and press this AQT button. So if you hold your finger on that, it'll bring up this menu here. So once you get that up, just keep pressing OK. You can see Ireland there, country, and that's an auto search, and that'll go up there and find everything you want. So that's the AQT button, which is this red one here. Every time you move the van, go in and press that and just press OK. So that's the way auto searching there now, and it'll start showing up stations up on the screen. So that'll go the whole way up and tune your telly, and that's just, you only have to do that on the aerial. So that's really all there is to the TV. I'll just exit that here now, and just the exit button. That's us back out of it again. That's just showing you how to tune the TV there. So that's all you have to do, and it's the source button then. If we press this source button, that gives you a choice between digital TV and satellite TV, or DVD. You can put the DVDs in it, or your AV or HDMI or whatever, USB. But the main two you're going to be using is digital and satellite. So now we're just the seat behind the driver's seat. This all lifts up to take all the cushions and all off, and you'll see your main control panel, which is here, and there's a row of fuses down the front. That's all your 12-volt fuses. Now there's different regulators and stuff there just for voltage for this inverter, and the inverter switches on that blue button. So when you switch that on, you can use the inverter and use all your sockets through the inverter. The only thing is now you're not able to boil kettles or anything once you have the inverter on. You'll have mains there for the likes of charging and low voltage stuff. You might get away maybe with a hairdryer, which is the main reason they usually put the inverters on vans, but the likes of kettles are very high, you know, toasters and stuff like that there, I would avoid when I'm on that. Now the other two boxes here at the front are your main trips, just for your mains coming in, and you can actually access that through that wee door or lift the seat up. So you can see just the wee trips in there, the same as what you'd have at home. They should be up normally and down for trip. So that's what's in. So we're just outside the van here now. I'm just going to show you, that's where you plug the van in, and along this side here is your water fill. It's very bright here, I don't know if this will show up alright, but you have your water fill here, and you have a wee 12-volt socket here that you can plug in. You'll have a wee supply for outside if you want to run 12-volt stuff. And up along here then, that's just the exhaust for your heater. And in this compartment here, we'll have a wee look in here now, and you can see you have a valve here. That's for your wastewater. So it tells you how to open it. It's open around that way and close that way. So that's just for your wastewater. And on around the van here now, we'll have a wee look if there's anything else outside. You have more compartments in here. You have a wee barbecue point here, and there's a wee adapter you put in there and turn it, and then you can put your hose onto that. And up in here then is your gas locker. So you can see there, that's your pipe connection, which is a left-hand thread. So you'll actually you'll get the spanner, you'll loosen that clockwise. So it loosens that way and it tightens anti-clockwise, which is that way. Right? So as long as you remember that it's opposite to a normal thread. So you loosen it clockwise and you tighten it anti-clockwise, and you just turn off your gas here, or this tap on the top before you change your gas. Close that to go off your pipe, change your bottle, put your pipe back on and open that back up again. So if you're not using the van, you can just switch off the gas here. So what we're looking at here is just underneath the seat there, beside the table. You lift off the cushion there and you can look in here, and that's your valve there for draining the fresh water. All you do is just give it 2 turns anti-clockwise. You don't need to turn it any more than that, and 2 turns clockwise, then we'll close it again. So that's just for your fresh water tank. So we're just getting a wee look at your hob here. It's got a wee igniter and all on it. Just turn your valve as normal and hold your igniter, and that'll light up your gas. Now you have your 3 different rings, and there's a safeties in these as well if you look around here, so that the gas won't come out unless there's actually heat on that. So that's your safety mechanism on your hob. And then on this one here, when that's at 0, it's off, and around this side here is your oven, and around that side there is your grill, and there's a wee igniter there for it as well. So push it in and turn, and hold your igniter, and that'll light up your gas. So we'll just show you that going there. Now you can see the drawer below the oven. You can see there's gas valves in there. They're open now at the moment the way they are, but there's no need to go near them. They're really only for maintenance, but just in case you're ever somebody actually turns them on or off, they're actually on there in that position there. So just to let you know what they are. So there's a couple of wee buttons here up on your control panel here. You can see here it says heat exchanger pump. What that does there, when your engine's running, you can switch that on and it'll pump the hot water from the heat exchanger in around your heating system at the back. And around the Aldi system, it'll pump hot water around that and heat the van at the back from your engine. So that's in the winter time. If you're driving along and you want to heat the back of the van, you can switch that on there, and that'll pump the water down the back from the engine. So that's making use of the hot water out of the engine pipes. It goes through a heat exchanger and back down to the back of the van, and it pumps around then. And the next switch here on each side, on this side here's your electric bed, just up and down. And this fuse is for the electric bed. You just push it in and out there. So your bonnet pull is just in here in front of the passenger seat. That's your bonnet pull. So we're just in your engine compartment here now. There's not really much to look at, but that's for your window wash. If you ever have to jump start the van, you see this wee red thing here, this wee cover over it. You put your positive on there, and you can put your negative on to the likes of that hook there for your engine, and that'll jump start your van for you. So you can see where that is there. This wee cover goes over the top of it, it keeps it secure. The rest then is just your dipstick and your oil cap, and over that side that's the water for the coolant in the engine, and you have just the likes of your brake fluid and power steering fluid and stuff there. So that's really all there is to the inside of your engine. So we're looking at here now is just there's wee inlets here for pumping up your airbags. There's one on each side of the van, and always try to keep a wee bit of, you always have to keep at least one. See down the bottom of the green, you always have to at least keep one bar in the airbags. Now the maximum you can put into them really is, once you get to 4, they're fairly solid. They're not going to get any more solid really. So at the moment they're at 2, but you can mess about with that yourself. So that's the airbags on your back axle, and always keep the two of them the same. So, and they just blow up left and right here at the bottom, and you'll see the van going up and down at the back. But they do stabilise the van fairly well, even for driving. So you can mess about and you can put them up to 3 or 4. They'll easily hold 4 bar, but once you get to that stage you've sort of gone as hard as you get. But always keep at least one in the bags, to keep air in the bags, to stop the bags from collapsing. So the only other thing I would look at here is your diesel fill here is at the front. So just be aware that when you're at the filling station that somebody doesn't put diesel into your water tank, because you can't really see that, but just to be sure. So just the last thing here, you have your reverse camera, which is just up in the rear view mirror. There's that view there, which is far away, and then if you put the van in reverse, it'll show you the back of the van, and you hear the beeping noise there. But it'll show you the back of the van, and when you're driving along normally, you'll see the far away vision, which is that one. Might be a bit hard to see, but you'll get that'll come on and off itself. So in your cutlery drawer there, that's the adapter you need for your barbecue point outside. So you can see you put your hose on here on the end of it, and the jibby clip, and then this bit here goes in and just turns. So that's a new one I am for you in your drawer, if you're wondering where it is. So the last thing I need to show you is just your aircon. Now the unit itself is up here on the roof, and there's an on and off button here. That'll switch it off. You switch it on, you switch it on first, you'll have a red light, and it won't operate until you press this. So you press the on button, you'll see it coming on there. Now once you're in that, you can, 16 actually is the lowest temperature. It sounds a bit high, but that's the lowest temperature. And you can see you can bring the temperature up and down there, and you can bring it back down again. So your aircon will run off your inverter when you're driving along, or if you're not even plugged in somewhere, you can run the aircon off that. But the only thing you're not supposed to use, there's a heating element inside this, and it'll show you inside the wee door there. It'll show you the different symbols. So don't put on the heat on that when you're running off the inverter, because it's too strong for it. So we'll just see, it's hard to just zoom into this, but you can see the different modes there. You can see the fan, cool, and that'll come up in the top screen here in the corner. You can see them moving across as you do mode. which is this one here, I think you can see. Sorry, I'm just scrolling across there. You see the different modes at the top. So that's what them wee symbols are outside the door. They explain what they are there. You'll see the cool, you'll see dry air, and one of them's the heating one. But with the heating inside the van, you're not going to need the heat out of this thing here. But how the heat actually works, if you do want to put the heat on, is just turn that up as high as you can there, and go on to the heating mode, which is that one, and that'll actually heat the van through. But it'll just blow out hot air. But generally the aircon unit is for cold air, so we'll normally be on that setting there, and we'll just turn our temperature down to 16. And you'll get nice cold air coming out of it. Now you can open and close these vents at the side here if you want to redirect the air out the back or out the front. There's 4 of them on it. There'll be black turners here. You can turn them, and that closes the vents. So if you want more cold air coming out here at the front, you can close the one here at the back, and it'll give you more cold air out the front. But it's fairly straightforward. To switch it off then, just hold your finger there, and that's it. And what you have then is your red standby light, and then what you can do then is you can just switch it off if you want. Now there's a light on this as well. You see it at night time. You might find nice at night time. You light that up and down there, and it's just a wee sort of light at night time to light the ceiling for you. So I'm just putting your remote control into your blue bag here. Now the blue bag's got all your just paperwork and all the van, and it should give you some more information, but the stuff I've shown you should sort of cover the rough of it really, but there's more detail maybe in the books and some of the stuff, and everything's kept in your blue bag. So I hope that video was a bit of a help to you, and you can ring us at any time at all if you need any information, or if you're not sure of anything or how anything operates. You can always ring us at any time here at all. So thank you.